Oh, Marmalade.
If you were knocking about in the 90s, you probably caught a few episodes of Xena Warrior Princess during its original run on TV. I certainly did. Although I can't recall what happens in a single episode, but I do remember the 4 key selling points to every episode. Xena's battle cry, amazingly cheesy action, and so sex appeal, fight scenes, and a strong female lead? Make a game now! So we have yet another attempt to cash in on an existing franchise. 5 years after the final episode, mind you. I mean, who would even bother after all this time? Well, at least the cover looks good. You got your leading lady here, looking pretty badass. You got... Our antagonist of this adventure is Xena's old flame Ares, the Greek god of war. Right, the plot of this game is pretty messed up. If Xena doesn't agree to be Ares' missus again, he'll drown her friend Gabrielle. Sleep with me or kill your bestie. You sure know how to pick 'em, Xena. Speaking of Gabrielle, she's supposed to look like this. Not an abomination conjured up if Hillary Clinton and Meg Ryan crawled into a petri dish. Due to her predicament, it's safe to say Gabe was placed here against her will. But that hasn't stopped her from leaving extremely detailed instructions throughout the castle on how she's doing, where you need to go, and how to solve the puzzles. Was this the most scenic kidnapping ever, or is Ares also a tour guide on the side of being a god? Check on Gabrielle. Yep, she's still there. Okay then. Being a warrior princess, Xena can handle herself pretty darn well. You've got your 1-2-3 combo, flips, kicks, and a good old-fashioned prodder. Problem is, Xena controls like a duck trying to land on a frozen pond. You charge in for an attack, but most of the times you overshoot the target. And that's just how it feels controlling her on the ground. Once Xena leaps into the air, she basically turns into a balloon flying around the room. The most iconic weapon in Xena's arsenal is a trusty chakram that she can use to dispatch her enemies with devastating precision. Here though, you're stuck with a fixed first-person view, has the turning circle of a bus once it's thrown, it clips through the walls when it returns, and the sound effect goes on for a few seconds longer than necessary. The enemy AI is comedy gold. They constantly get stuck behind invisible walls, have the depth perception of your grandma using Vaseline for her contact lens solution, and just straight up bug out for no reason. I don't know who's violating who here. Oh yeah, there's platforming as well. I said there's platforming! The ice level like controls makes progression torturously difficult. So you push this block onto this switch and make your way back down. Go over here and... I thought I did this already. And I push this block onto this switch. The puzzles and platforming segments are repeated within the same areas. Half measures don't cut it in my book, and I'm going to show you a real life example, okay? If you just have a look here, look at this. Beautiful Victoria sponge that I've made. But if you take a closer look, I've only baked half the cake. But with this handy little trick, boom, full cake. Full cake, and just, it's just so lazy and just... This is some of the laziest gameplay I've ever seen. It's not every day that you come across anything that draws unoriginality from itself. If you collect enough of these red things, you can unlock this area that gives you the force field power to block enemy attacks. Or in this case, a giant bubble made out of herpes. Maybe if I trigger myself into having a seizure, then I don't have to play this bloody game anymore. Why is the magic meter above the health bar? But why though? This makes no bloody sense. Since when is having health less important than magic in any game? Were the developers trying to set a new trend to video game user interfaces? And they thought Xena Warrior Princess was the game to attempt that? If you're not going to do it right, I'll just have to do it for you. There, I made your game a little less terrible. I'll be sure to send my invoice to your business address, Blast Entertainment. Xena eventually ends up in this maze with 4 towers you unlock by collecting more of these things. Sorry, half a maze that's mirrored. Or is it a quarter of a maze that's mirrored once, then mirrored again? Hitting all 4 switches opens up the keep where Gabrielle is being held. We make our way in and... What happens after this loading screen is real. I'm being 100% genuine, I'm being deadly serious. This is meant to happen. She dies. Just like that, without warning. Remember the check on Gabrielle option in the pause screen? That is actually an indicator of how long Gabrielle has to live, which means the game has a time limit, and at no point is this extremely important game mechanic ever mentioned. Fuck, right, I need to smash something. How is this an indication of how much time has passed? Could you not have included a timer on the screen to, oh, I don't know, make it fucking obvious that I'm racing against the clock here? This is video game design 101. Make the goals and objectives of your game clear to the player. Mario Brothers, move to the right to progress through the level. Street Fighter, hit your opponent till their life bar is empty. Rocket League, score more goals than the opposing team and here's your goddamn time limit. After Gabrielle gets comfy in her watery grave, I'm now left with two options. Either start the game from the beginning or continue from my last save point, and I have maybe 10 minutes to complete the game till she dies again? No! Thank you. How could this have been released like this? There's no replayability past an hour. Unless you're into Xena walking around like she's trying to hide the fact that she's pooped herself, the game is pointless. How can anyone that was involved in making this game live with themselves? How can I live with the shame of never beating this game? Mock me, will you? Look down on me, will you? Let's see how you like a taste of your own medicine. Oh, yes. Thanks for watching. If this is your first time to the channel and you like what you saw, then make sure to subscribe. If you want to see new monthly videos, then you're shit out of luck because that certainly isn't happening here. Till next time, my preserves.